Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. We're going to have a very busy few days here because I have, I think, 5 videos that I've really been meaning to film for like the past week and a half that are just like end of year wrap-ups kind of things, plus like my 2025 reading goals. Haven't been able to because I've been sick. I got sick last Sunday. That was like the 21st or the 22nd or something like that. And I'm like just now on the backside of it finally. So first of all, let me apologize for a few things. First of all, I apologize. My ears are still plugged up. I'm getting over a cold and my ears are still plugged up, so I have no idea how I sound. I did lose my voice for a few days and my voice is back now, but since I can't really hear anything, I don't know if I'm like yelling at you or not. I hope not. Like, I can't really hear anything, so I apologize if my volume is weird. I also apologize if these videos are like very choppily edited as I try to edit and hide any coughing fits or anything like that. So so I've just been I love my family. Like, next to the Lord, I love my family more than anything in this world. But I get sick every single time I see my nieces and nephews, which I think is just because, for me, I have a chronic illness, a disability, so I don't go out of the house that much. I can't work and I live at home with my parents, and so I really only go out of the house for church and my doctor and the library. And so I don't go out and get exposed to that much stuff like I would if I had a job or something. Whereas, my nieces and nephews are going to school, and school kids get exposed to everything. So I think that's the reason I get sick every single time I see them, because they have so much exposure and they're just handed all over to me. But it's worth it because I love seeing them anyway. But yeah, so I end up just getting sick whenever I see them. But what am I saying? But yeah, so I've been meaning to film all these kind of wrap up end of the year kind of videos, and I've just had to put them all off because I've been sick, and so they've been building up, and it's been getting to stress me because today is New Year's Eve, and I have my top 10 of 2024. I have my 2024 reading goal wrap-ups, I have my Nutcracker readathon wrap-up, and I have my December reading wrap-up, all to film, as well as my 2025 reading goals. So I was like, okay, I'm feeling like my head at least is better today. I'm gonna start filming these videos. So this video, I'm working on it, guys. So I've got my hot drink. This is lemon, ginger, and garlic all steeped together in water. It's not a taster, but it's really great at boosting your immune system and helping you get over sickness. So I recommend it if you're sick. It's not a taster, but it'll definitely help you feel better. And yeah, again, I apologize for my voice, and I apologize for any choppy editing that will come up in this video. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So this video is going to be I think my longest of these videos, because I'm going to be doing my 2024 reading wrap up in this video. So let's go ahead and get started. So I had 4 main reading goals in 2024, and those were I wanted to read 75 books, I wanted to read 6 nonfiction, and 6 new authors, and then I did the 24 in 2024 challenge that was going around Instagram. So as far as the 75 books goes, that was a really easy win for me. I read 84 books this year, 84 books in 2024, And yeah, that was really easy. I don't try to make that goal too hard for myself. I don't like making super hard reading goals because I don't want it to be a stressor for me. Like, reading is not something that should stress you out, in my opinion. And so I make goals that I think should be pretty easy to meet. And so my goal was 75. I read 84. No problem. Great. No problem. The next reading goal was the 24 in 2024 books. And I did not meet that goal. I finished 16 of those books. And I DNF'd 3 for various reasons. And then there was just 5 that I didn't get to. And for that goal, like, I just stopped doing that goal in, like, November because I just, like, I had these 5 books left, and I started reading the 1. And I was just like, I feel like I'm reading this purely because I feel pressured to finish this goal and not because I actually want to read this book right now. And I just feel like it's stressing me out. And I was like, I probably could, if I forced myself, read these final 5 books, but there are other books that I want to read in November and December, and the only reason I would be reading these books was because they were on this 24 in 24 list, and I want to read them because I actually feel like reading them and want to enjoy them, and not because I feel pressured to. So I just, in November, I was like, okay, I'm just done with this challenge, and I just ended it there with 5 books left to go. And I will not be doing a 25 in 2025 challenge because I'm like, I just want to read what I want to read. I don't want to feel pressured to get through like this specific list of books. I'm not really a TBR kind of person. I don't typically make TBRs each month. I kind of tried that when I first started on YouTube because I was like, well, that's what everybody's doing. But then I was like, I don't really like giving myself a specific book. I mean, obviously, if there are like new releases that I'm anticipating, then I know I'm going to read them probably that month when they come out because I've been like, you know, I pre-ordered them and I've been waiting for them. But other than that, I don't really like giving myself a limited list. I want to read what I want to read. So that one, it just didn't really work out for me this year. But yeah. And then the other 2, I'll be going into more detail. So I will tell you, for the 6 nonfiction and the 6 new authors, these next 2 goals, I'm going to tell you what books I read for them, and I'll tell you what stars I gave them, but I won't go into too much detail because for all of these books, they were covered in my monthly reading wrap-ups throughout the year, so if you want more detail, you can go check them out there, but I'm just going to tell you what they are and like what stars I gave them. So for the 6 nonfiction, I actually read 7 nonfiction books, which on my graphic here, these I'm using the graphics that I made for my Instagram, and I made these graphics like, I went to Oklahoma for Christmas, and I went to Oklahoma like the Thursday before Oklahoma. My oldest niece, she had her very first piano recital. She's 7. So we left the Wednesday before that. So we left a week before Christmas, and we spent like that week in Oklahoma. So I made these graphics before I left for Oklahoma. And so there are only 6 nonfiction books on this graphic, even though I finished 7, because the 7th one I did not think that I would get to in December because I knew I was going to be in Oklahoma and I thought I'd be busy with family. But I ended up finishing it, so I do have the 7th one that's not on this graphic. But I'll get to that. So the first one is The Watchmaker's Daughter by Larry Loftus, and this is a biography on Corrie ten Boom, and I really, really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. The second one is Defeating Dysautonomia by Tara Smith Johnson, which I gave 2 stars. Oh, I meant to do this at the beginning of this video. So I realized I've never really talked about my rating system with you guys. So I'm going to talk about it here in this video, but I'm also going to make like a separate video that describes my rating system that I'll make that at the beginning of 2025, and I'll put it up on my channel, like I'll pin it or something so that it's there for anyone who's curious. Because there have been like there's been a lot of discussion lately on like YouTube and Instagram and TikTok about book ratings and review ratings, and some people like think that you shouldn't rate them because if you give them a bad score it's mean. Some people think that it's fine. Like, it's been under a lot of controversy, at least from what I've seen lately. And first of all, I have opinions on it being under controversy, but I won't go into all that here. But, like, ratings are so subjective. Like, everybody's rating system is a little bit different, so I felt like I should, like, define mine here. So I'll tell you guys what my rating system is right now, and then I'll make, like, a separate video for the beginning of 2025 that I'll put up on my YouTube channel that just talks about my rating system. So when I rate something 5 stars, this is like a stellar book. It either like had no flaws in my opinion, or I just loved it so much that I was willing to completely ignore all the flaws that it did have. Like, it's an absolute love. I'm a big rereader, so if it's 5 stars, I'm definitely going to be rereading it at some point. 4 stars it was really good. It was either really good, but I don't think that I'll reread it, or it was really good, and there was just a couple, like, flaws that I couldn't get past. Because I do reread a lot of 4-star books, too. I'm a big rereader. So 4 is really 4 stars is, I really liked it, but it's just missing that one little je ne sais quoi sparkle that kept it from being 5 stars. Like, that's it. 3 stars for me is just kind of like average. 3 stars, I didn't necessarily dislike the book, but, like, I didn't love it. It's sometimes, like, a 3-star book, I'll be like, yeah, I like this, but it was just 3 stars. And other times I'll be like, I didn't really like it, but I didn't really hate it. It was just kind of there. That's also 3 stars in my opinion. So 3 stars is a very, like, wide category for me, because I can still like a book, but it's just kind of average, or I can just feel, like, really non-committal about it in general and still give it 3 stars. So 3 stars is a very wide category in my opinion. But yeah, but it's not a bad category in my opinion. If I don't like a book, then that's a 2-star book for me. And I have very few 2-star books, but, like, I just actually genuinely don't like a book, it gets 2 stars. And then 1 star, I never give a book 1 star, because if it's that low, I just DNF'd it, and I don't give ratings to my DNF book. So 1 star is completely inconsequential on my rating system, because that book was just DNF'd. But 2 stars, I really didn't like it. 3 is just average. It's literally in the median, which is why, like, some people are like, you should never give a book lower than a 4-star review, and I'm like, I have no problem giving 3-star reviews, because to me that's just average. I mean, that's just the middle of the road. There are so many books out there that are just middle of the road for people. For me, that's what 3 stars is. It's literally the middle. Like, it's halfway between 1 and 5. It's the middle. So yeah, and then 4 stars is just, I really loved it. I liked it, but it's just missing one little sparkle to make it 5 stars. And then 5 stars is just stellar. So that is my rating system. I'll make, like, another video, like I said, at the beginning of 2025, really explain it. Anyway, back to my 6 nonfiction books. Like I said, the first one, The Watchmaker's Daughter, that's 5 stars. It was so good. The second one, Defeating Dysautonomia, really didn't like it. It was 2 stars. The third one was How to Do Life with a Chronic Illness by Pippa Stacey. That one I gave 5 stars. I thought it was excellent. The fourth one is She Believed He Could, So She Did by Becky Beresford. That one I also gave 5 stars. It was really good. The fifth one is The Alpine Path, which is Ellen Montgomery's memoir of her career. I gave that one 4 stars. The sixth one is, I always get this title wrong. I call it What is Pots, but it's actually like Pots, What It Is and Where It Comes From, or something like that, by Patrick Usher. I gave that one 3 stars. And the seventh one, which is the one that's not on this graphic, is Practicing the Way by John Mark Comer, which I gave 5 stars. That was by far the best nonfiction I read this year. It's one of the best books I read this year. It was so good. Okay. So those were the 7 nonfiction books I read this year. And then my 4th and final reading goal was to read 6 new authors this year. This one was actually a lot easier to get than I thought it was going to be. I don't know, I was under the impression that I read, like, mainly the same authors over and over again, so I wanted to expand my horizons this year and read more new authors, but I realized in doing this that I think I actually don't, I think I already like naturally get quite a few new authors every year because this one was really easy to achieve. And again, it's kind of the same thing with the 6 nonfiction books. When I made this graphic before I went to Oklahoma, I put 9 authors on there. I actually got a 10th one in, which is funny because I took 3 books to Oklahoma to read, and none of them were new authors, and I finished the one, which was Karen Whitemeyer's newest release. And then the other 2 I had already started, and I was already partway through, but instead of just continuing on in them, I went and got a new book from my Kindle. Not new, it had been in my Kindle library for a while, but I hadn't started yet. And I was like, I'm going to read this instead. So that ended up being my 10th new author of the year, even though I was not planning on reading it. But that's why I don't make a TBR, because sometimes I'm just like, I feel like going and reading this book, and I do. But anyway, so I ended up, instead of reading 6 new authors, I read 10. And it was like really, really easy to do. It's not good. So, the first new author was Denise Hunter, which I read Wildflower Falls. That was 4 stars. The second new author was Denise Weimer, which I read A Winter at the White Queen, which I gave 3 stars. And then we had number 3 was Melissa Ferguson. I read Meet Me in the Margins. That was 4 stars. Number 4 was Rachel Fordham. I read The Letter Tree, which was 5 stars. So good. And Beyond Ivy Walls, which was 4 stars. Number 5 was Nicole Miller, which I read Until Our Time Comes, her debut novel. It was 5 stars. Excellent. Number 6 was Joy Crane, and I read The Cost of the Crown, which was 4 stars, and The Trials of the Title, which was 5 stars. 7 was Grace Hitchcock, which I read To Catch a Coronet, which was 4 stars. 8 was Tasha Hackett, which I read Waiting for Gilbert, which I gave 3 stars. 9 was Johnny Alexander. She's the one that's missing from this list because I just read her on a whim while I was in Oklahoma. That was The Cryptographer's Dilemma, which I gave 4 stars. And 10, this is so funny. I did not realize how much of this author that I read this year until I was doing this, until I was wrapping up my new authors. But that was Erica Besh, and I read 9 Erica Besh books. I read her for the first time this year, and I just really went down a rabbit hole, apparently. So I read the Cactus Creek Challenge, which was 4 stars. Love Finds You in Fort Bliss, Texas, which was 3 stars. The Lost Lieutenant, which was 4 stars. The Gentleman's Spy, 5 stars. The Indebted Earl, 4 stars. The Debutante's Code, 5 stars. Millstone of Doubt, 4 stars. Children of the Shadows, 5 stars. And A Thieving at Carlton House, which was 5 stars. So, that wraps up my 2024 reading goals wrap up. Out of my 4 reading goals, I completed 3 of them. 1, which was the 2024, I did not complete, but that's okay. And yeah, I will let you guys know my 2025 reading goals soon. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, I apologize for the cold, but you're going to be hearing it in the next several videos because I'm going to be doing all these wrap-up videos. So, just good luck with that. And I hope you guys had a great holiday. I hope you have a great New Year's, and I will see you guys soon.